I almost forgot what to do.
Welcome back to the Max Effort Kitchen podcast. We got a great segment for you. It's called The Athlete and the Chef. So sit back, relax, and let's go.
All right, welcome to the Max Effort Kitchen. This is the Athlete and the Chef episode. Cornell, it's been a while. You are in a different spot right now, and okay. Before I let you talk here, I got to just throw this out there because I've been wanting to say this to you, dude. Is driving across country like becoming like easy for you at this point?
It's not as hard as you think.
Yeah.
But God forbid I have to drive back.
I'll tell you, man. I thought about like truck drivers because I'm like, man, he has the route down. He knows when to sleep. He knows where to get gas. He knows when to stop. Like, it's just, it's one of those things that like no one ever really thinks about that difficulty of it. And then until you do it. And then next thing you know, you're like, well, I've done this a couple times. It's pretty easy. For those of you who don't know, Cornell is in Tennessee right now. And he drove across country, went to Arkansas for a little bit, and now he's in Tennessee. How's it been so far?
So far, so good. I got to be honest, this trip is the route to go.
Okay.
I don't want to offend the people who get really offended who live in Texas, but I hate driving in Texas. It's terrible. It's god awful. It's forever. Like,
hey,
you get into Texas and then you're driving and you're like, it's been a day and I'm still in Texas. But I chat GBT'd because the first time I drove it, that's the way I went. And I was a little bit worried at first because I had a double cab short bed Tacoma with 4 sets of weights in the back. So let's say I was super stink bugged out. And when I left originally, it was super stormy and windy in San Diego. And I wasn't sure if I had like misloaded or overloaded the truck because it was just swaying everywhere. And it turned out it was just thankfully the rain and the wind. Once I got past that, it was just cruising and easy until I got to Texas, where they decide to work on all the roads at the same time. And when they do that, they shrink the sizes of the lanes. They get rid of your turnoff, like the shoulders. They just have concrete barriers on both sides. And then there's maniac semi-truck drivers driving. The speed limit there is between like 80 and 85. And these guys are driving 90, passing you on a curve.
Dude.
And I'm just terrified. So
sounds terrifying.
It's like, if you hit me or if I hit you, you're fine.
Yeah.
And I will be squished. So,
oh man. Yeah, that's an interesting thing because like you don't think about that. Like I talk about this a lot with Lana, but like we live in a bubble where it's like we drive the same roads, we drive the same freeways, same highways, and then you get outside your bubble and you're like, wait a minute, roads are a little bit different. And you got to like, you think about like the truck drivers. It's like their territory, right? So, and I've driven in Texas before, man, and I didn't even know there was a speed limit. No offense to Texas, but damn, you guys drive crazy.
So this trip, I brought the 16-foot trailer with my big truck.
Okay.
And I just chat GBT. I put it in the map and it gave me the route that I took and then a second route. And there was only a 15-minute difference in time. So then I got on chat GBT and I asked it which one was the better route to be driving cross country, knowing that I'm taking a trailer and it's going to be full and it's going to be heavy. And I just told ChatGPT because it kind of goes based on the information. It gives you answers based on the information you give it. So I reminded it that there's a whole lot of road construction going on there and the roads are real narrow and this kind of a thing. But what I didn't want to do was end up going like up and down mountains and that type of thing where I didn't know what, or get stuck in a snowstorm or something like that. And it said, no, go this other route. And it was 10 times easier.
Nice. Now, I assume you kind of go that southwest air route-ish area because you don't have to cross over mountains, right? Or any type of like Rockies or anything.
Well, I mean,
You're
I
south
wouldn't,
anyways.
I would have to go so far north to get there.
Okay.
So I basically, it was California to Arizona, I think. Maybe, I don't even know if I touched Nevada. Maybe I did.
Yeah.
And then New Mexico, and then you just cut across the top of Texas.
Okay.
And then before you know it, in 2 hours, you're out of Texas. And you're like, that's nice.
That's fantastic. Yeah. When I was a kid, we would drive from like Boise, Idaho to Dallas, Texas, quite a bit. And that was always a trip. It was like, I know one time we cut over to Oregon and then went down California and then cut over. One time we went like just straight down to like Reno, Vegas, all that stuff. And each time, as a kid, you just remember certain things about it. But like, I just remember those road trips being really long, really crazy. And just like there's always something that happens. Now, have you had anything crazy happen? Like, has anything like, oh shit, I got to stop. And like, I mean, not even changing a tire, but like anything crazy happen yet?
Well, I was told to be worried about trailer tires, make sure your axles are greased and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, I got new tires a year ago on this trailer. It's been almost sitting, and I know that sitting is the worst thing, so I would move it like every couple of weeks, not much, just a little bit, put it on the driveway, put it in a different spot, like that kind of a thing.
Nice.
I looked into buying the tools for packing the grease, but I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna kind of hopes and prayers and go for it. And thankfully I didn't have any issues. I did hit a big pothole at the very end, and I heard something weird, but it was literally like as I'm getting off the exit. And it just sounded like something was dragging, but I couldn't. It's not in the truck, so it's got to be in the trailer, but the trailer's parked at the moment.
Yeah.
And then the other crazy part, though, is there was a lot of road construction where there would be a transition. Anytime you'd hit a bridge, it would be like a 3-inch bump. So everything would bump.
Dude.
And it's like, it's a dual axle trailer. So the front wheels hit, the back trailers hit, and two trailers hit. And then when you go down, it's the same thing. And the shell on my truck, it's all bolted down, but it's about 2.5 inches back right now. So over those 32 hours or whatever it was of drive time, it slowly shifted back. And I'm like, I got to unload the truck, that part of the truck. I got to get the wrenches out, slide it forward.
Damn. So that's, and yeah, I mean, mechanical issues happen, but like that seems pretty light. I got to ask, what's the best road food? Like, have you had anything crazy? Like, oh my gosh.
No, but I have learned that you should not eat more than 1 bag of sunflower seeds per day, or your whole mouth kind of loses that outer layer of skin.
Yeah.
But if you stick to one a day and you kind of mow through it for the first half of the day, and then you don't have any of that for the second half, by the next day, you're good to go.
Nice.
I went through about 5 pounds of beef jerky.
Good. Love it.
I was worried because last time I did, I was having problems sleeping because you're like, I'm getting tired, so I'm going to pound some energy, some caffeine. What I did notice, or what I learned about, which this is my new favorite drink, and it's not that big of a deal, but it's like, where have you been the last 5 years? Mountain Dew Zero.
Mountain Dew Zero. Okay.
Mountain Dew
I didn't know
Zero.
they made that.
Well, Mountain Dew kind of tastes like it tastes like an energy drink. It's like the original, like, what is this flavor? I don't know. It's chemicals and tastes delicious.
Yep.
And each can has 45 to 50 milligrams of caffeine in it. So you can drink a 6-pack and you've only got 300 milligrams, and you don't drink a 6-pack in like a sitting.
No.
So if you crack that first one open at 4:15 in the morning when you leave. That last one is around 3 p.m. So you're 13 hours in, and then I stopped at like 9 p.m.
Nice.
So
Okay.
that's my new go-to thing.
That's your new go-to. I like that.
And also you can get a 12 pack for like $5. So that's 2 energy drinks, and that's 600 milligrams.
I'm just putting that together in my head. I'm like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, sounds like it's been a pretty, just an overall doable trip for you. You've done it twice now. And that's
each trip is getting more and more complicated.
Yeah.
So
I would imagine.
Trip 1, right, just the truck, just some stuff in it, not that big of a deal, just had to get out here. Trip 2 was the big truck with the big trailer. Trip 3 is probably going to be a U-Haul with 3 dogs and me.
Insert the little complication there.
So, and I did look it up, and it's not legal to put the dogs in the back.
Just gonna ask you about that.
There's nothing about putting the dogs on top of the truck and strapping them down in a cage.
There you go.
I'm not saying I'm doing that, but it didn't say anything about it being illegal. Just like there's a bunch of information that's been coming out. There's no law against your dog carrying a gun. There's no license for a dog. So if you have a backpack for your dog and you're in a sketchy place, you can put a firearm in there and not need a license.
Interesting little loophole right there. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, make a little note of that one. We're getting a dog. No. So, okay. You've been doing all this travel and everything. Weightlifting, man. I know that you're having some fun with it. You got some stuff, but like you got to stop at the USA Masters Nationals, whatever the name is. And how was the competition there? Dude, like I missed it. I was had a little bit of FOMO watching all the videos and seeing all the pictures of everybody. But there's always one next year, so I'm not worried about it. But how was the event overall?
The event seemed like it was ran really well. It didn't seem like you're getting those stick up the butt judges that are just trying to call everything press outs.
Yep.
Like anything that I saw that I was worried about it being questionable, the worst I saw was a 2-1. Like 2 whites, 1 red.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw, and I'm not trying to say that I didn't see any lifts that were deserving of 3 reds.
Okay.
But I didn't see anything that was snaked. Let's just say that.
Oh, interesting.
Like it was pretty much if you made that lift and everyone was lifting very well, and I really didn't see any press outs.
Yeah.
But
good.
There was some where in different competitions where they're real stick up the butt, like they would call it, and I didn't see any of that. So that was encouraging just to see that maybe they're chilling out a little bit on some of this stuff. But
I think that I feel like at those meets, not that it's been much different, but it's like there's a level of realistic lifting for masters lifting. They take into account. It seems like they take into account the age, the maybe the level of which the lifter is at, and I think I like that personally.
Yeah, I have seen, and I left before the 35 session. Like I think I saw a handful of the 40s, like 40 to 44, but I didn't see any of the youngest group. And I do know that they get more and more stringent as the people get younger because they have higher expectations of what's available. But no, I thought the judging was very good, not like they did a good job doing it. So.
I know where you're going with that. So, I had a question pop in my head when I was watching some of them, and I see, and I know a lot of the people that are out there winning, and you see a lot of like multiple year championship people that have gone there and just, taken gold every time. maybe 4 or 5 years in a row, 2 years in a row, whatever. So here's my question. At what point, and I know because if you're in the Masters division, there's no really other division to go to, but at what point do you make a change so you are, and I'm trying to put this in a way that doesn't offend anybody because it's not meant to be offensive, but like,
Just
just make a change to where you're actually competing against people and maybe not taking the gold. I don't know. Like, is that a thing?
Like change, you mean like change to a different weight
Maybe
class? So it'd be more.
maybe you go to a different weight class. Maybe you go to USAW stuff. Maybe you stop weightlifting. I don't know. But I wonder if you're constantly going to these competitions and taking, and I see it on USAW side too. So it's not just, I'm not pinpointing anybody specifically, but if you do that and you're constantly taking gold, like at what point do you just be like, all right, I either need to get more competition somehow, or I'm just going to call it and maybe do something else. I don't know.
We can talk about this more probably. I don't know if we'll get into it much today, but we can talk about this much more later.
Okay.
I'm essentially done. I am done competing. I'm telling people I'm a retired weightlifter. It doesn't mean I'm done lifting weights, but I'm done chasing that total. I'm done trying to just constantly be competing and chasing that never ending, whatever they call it. You're never going to scratch that itch until you choose to walk away.
Right.
And that's kind of where my mindset is I am choosing to, I said to myself, I've put in like 13 years. I really enjoyed it. I started seeing, and you see people all the time, you chase that PR you've been chasing for years. You hit it.
Yeah.
And what's the first thing that you say next? Oh, now I want more. It's like
every time.
Like I worked 8 years to snatch 140.
Right.
And then I did it and I was like, well, now I want 145. And then I hit 146 because who wants to put on 145? And then I was like, I want 150. Yeah. And then I hit 50 and it's like, I want 55. And I've had 55 locked out overhead and had to make a call to not stand it up so that I could compete the next week. But I know that like I was starting to pull an adductor and then everyone's like, that's a training make. I'm like, that's not a training make. But let's throw on 160 and just see what happens. And I lost it behind. And it was that 155 is never, that itch is still going to be there. So what I'm seeing, and this might offend some people, but you know what? I don't really care anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And it's going to offend some coaches and it's going to make people not happy that I'm saying this. It's a lot of these people who are just going to these meets. It was honestly a little bit sad seeing people because there wasn't that desire to win. There was that desire to accumulate points because they want to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And to make it to the Hall of Fame, you have to have like something around 100, and you win these points based off of different meets that you do that are all of these sanctioned meets. So I want to say this one was like 10 points and then Pan Am's is like 3 and Worlds is 6. And it's just something. And I'm just seeing all these people where they're like, I was talking to this one guy, I don't want to put any names out there, but they were just like, I just need to finish getting these points. And he literally said like, I've got 6 left. I need 6 more points and I can't do it this year because if I go to Worlds, it's only 5 points. He's like, but if I wait till next year, I can go and win this meet again and then I'll be done.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're actually going to be done, but like, I just keep talking to these people and literally all they're chasing now, it's just this the project is almost done, but for some of them, they're only like halfway there, but they have the definite potential to get to that Hall of Fame. And if you're listening to this, I'm just going to say it right now. It's a great achievement to get for yourself, but nobody cares. I mean, if someone told me that they made it, I would congratulate them. But like I've set a handful of records. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. The only people who know about it are the ones who do it. And then you can kind of say like, oh yeah, I broke the record. And you're like, cool, congratulations. And it's not like in 50 years, anyone's going to look and be like, oh, let's look up this person and see this competition. Oh, he was an old guy. He did all right.
Totally. You know, I love this point that you're making because you see these things right here. These were state records. I look at these and I'm like, these are nothing. Like, what the hell? Like, and I have them up because it's a nice background or whatever, you know, like, and maybe I'll put something else in there, but whatever. You're right. In the big picture, the whole scheme, first of all, I didn't even know there was a Hall of Fame until about a week ago. And I was like, oh, I see a post. There's like a plaque and name gets on it, Hall of Fame. And I'm like, personally, and this is my own personal opinion, but I would much rather snatch 120 than get on the Hall of Fame, you know, and I say 120 because that's my goal. Like there's a certain point for me in which I become very selfish, and when I get very selfish with this sport, it's what I want to hit, what I want to do. And given that we pay to do this sport and we are amateurs in a high level sport, I guess you could say, but there should be a level of being selfish and doing what you want to do. And so maybe if the Hall of Fame is a goal that somebody wants to get, great for them. But personally, I want to see growth in my lifting, and growth equals more weight on that bar. Like, okay, so for instance, Cornell, like I looked at the signed up for this meet, this Arkansas meet, and I saw who was in my competition. I saw what their total was. I looked them up, and I also saw what the competition records are. And I could have gone. I could have taken, you know, if everything went well, I could have taken the records and I could have taken gold. I only had one other person in my competition that would have probably challenged me a little bit. Now, with that said, when I had to back out because of a small little injury, I wasn't that worried about it. I think Joe was a little bummed out, and I felt bad about that. But at the same point, he understood, so I wasn't too concerned there. But like, it's like, you know, my wife looked at me. She's like, how bummed are you right now? And I was like, not really that bummed. Like, I'm bummed, but I'm like, hey, guess what? And I said this at the beginning of the show. They have another one next year. You just go to next year, and I do believe I will be better next year. So, you know, I guess for me, I think the Hall of Fame's cool and all, but it's the ability to move forward in the sport that really fuels my fire. And moving forward in the sport means putting more weight on that bar and putting it over my head successfully.
No, I think that's a much better mindset to have. Yeah, that's kind of what my mindset has transferred into, where I have some numbers that I would still like to really chase. Not necessarily in both lifts, and definitely not in the total. So, like, I want to be able to focus on taking all the other distractions out and then chasing the stuff that is for me, not for other people. And like, I get it. Like, coaches want to push their athletes to compete because it is the most motivating thing. If you know you have a competition, you're going to stick to your program, stick to the stuff. You're going to be consistent. That is how you're going to become the best lifter that you can be.
Right.
But then you're going to get to this point where it's like, I don't want to do it anymore. And I saw so many people. I saw probably 4 people there that did not want to be there. Yeah. And they all won. Yep. And they all had this look on their face that was just like, and
I felt that. You know, it's interesting that you're saying this because, like, although I said I had FOMO because I missed out on seeing the friendships, I felt that. there was, and I'm not going to say his name, but there was one person in particular that was like, you could tell, like he had won it so many times. He's like, I don't even know why I'm here. It's like it almost gave that feeling. So I don't know.
Yeah, and the one part that kind of sealed the deal where I knew that I was good and done is when I got there, I had no desire to be on that platform. Like I had zero, like I looked at what my session was going to be at and I was like, I'm not in the best shape right now, but I could probably 75% win. Like there's one guy who opened a little heavier.
Yeah.
If he went 6 for 6 and if he went 5 for 6 or 4 for 6 and I went 4 for 6, we'd probably be at the same numbers. Like it would be that whoever pushed a little bit on that second lift. If he went 6 for 6 and I went 4 or 5 for 6, then he would have definitely won. But I'm not even in that good a shape right now. And my body is just falling. It's taken, I've got 13 years of abuse on this body right now. Plus I'm unable to squat. I'm unable to do a whole bunch of things. And I looked at the competition. I'm like, it's still not, I could have won and I didn't even care. So
yeah, I get that.
But yeah, I think that, the other part about the Hall of Fame, I want to say that if you win every single meet in 5 years that offers points, that's how many meets you would have to go to, I believe, and win to get to that Hall of Fame. So imagine you've got Nationals, you got Pan Ams, you got the Howard Cohen, and you got Worlds. So 4 major competitions with most likely decent amount of travel. That's going to be 20 trips that you're taking so that your name can be on there. And that's under the impression that you win them all and you don't have to do more. Like if you lost a couple, then you're going to extend those out. And it's just a lot. And especially where I am in life with my kids. And they're almost out of the house and I don't want to miss out on the last little bits of time that I have with them. But
totally.
You're 35 years old. You easily 20 years to accomplish that 5 years of wins. So if it's what you want to do, go for it. So
and again, it's like what I was just saying, and what you just said in just different words, which is be selfish, go for your own goals. Like that's like you're going to have a coach that wants you to do certain things, but Joe said something to me. It was 2 weekends ago, we were talking, and I was like, I asked him a question. I was like, hey, why do you care so much about a lifter A, B, and C? And he's like, man, when you're a coach, he's like, you get a couple, you only get maybe 5 shots at a senior lifter that has like the ability to make a splash, like a real senior lifter. And he's like, I felt that with Sester. And he's like, unfortunately, and he owned it. He was like, unfortunately on me, that didn't pan out. But he goes, I want that feeling again. And that's why. And I totally get that. Like that's his ability to be selfish in his goal. And I think the word selfish comes off as negative, but I don't look at it as that. I look at it as like when we sit back and look at this, are we going to be happy that we followed what a coach told us to do? Or are we going to be happy that we, went out there and had a good time, made good friendships, lifted a lot of weight, went to competitions, went to freaking camps? Like that's what I see. And that's what I want to be able to look back and sit back and say, you know what, this was an amazing experience, awesome community, made some freaking like lifelong friendships. And I lifted some big weights and it was fun. So like, that when I sit back and say I'm done, that's what I want to see,
Yeah. Well, like it was really great watching Joe do his thing. And like, he's such a great coach and seeing him running cards and how he interacts with different people and constantly offering help to people if they don't have someone necessarily there. And
he's
huge.
This
is also like his career and he's put so much into it and he's helping out so many people.
Yeah.
And I understand his side of like wanting people to shoot for these things and chase these things. And
totally.
I think I'm just at that point where I'm okay with it. And I do have one goal left that I really want to go for. I don't know if it'll happen, but I'm still going to go for it. And I've kind of accepted the fact that so there's one meet, it's about 25% I'm going to do. It's the Savannah Invitational. But the problem is it's the weekend after my family's supposed to arrive in Tennessee. And if they don't come, I'm going to be here still with 3 dogs.
Okay.
So that's going to be a really complicated, if I was going to make it work kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's actually probably faster to drive than fly because for some reason, there's no direct flights out of Tri-Cities Airport except Charlotte and Dallas. Because this airport is tiny.
Oh, it is. Okay.
You can show up 15 minutes before, not right now with TSA stuff, but you can show up 15 minutes before they start loading or boarding, and you're fine. Which is great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the one that's kind of up there, but it's 75% not going to happen. But I've just kind of decided that I want to chase some of these numbers, and whether it means I have to officially retire and start taking certain medications that can help me with this, I decided it's time, and I'm done competing. So but I'm holding out until that one meet is done, and or until I officially decide on that. And maybe I'll get Dozer as a coach.
There you go. I like that. I think I said this to you on the poll this morning. But at the end of the day, and I hate that saying at the end of the day, but I'll say it anyways. If you're happy, just do it. As somebody that is a friend, I look at it as if you're happy, do it. I'm not going to sit there and judge or feel for, I am a friend should support. And so to me, if that's what you want to do, I'm full support of it. And I think it's great. And the reason why I'm saying this is because there are people out there that will be like, no, what are you doing? You should, no, don't hang it up. What do you?
Yeah,
I'm not, you're a strong-willed man, and that that's going to happen. But, if I commend somebody that does something that makes them happy. And that's something I lived my life and in a way that I've lived my life. And so it's fantastic. I love it. And whatever next thing happens, or if there is a next thing, or if you do the competition, I can guarantee you this, me and my family will be sitting right there rooting for you, whatever you do. So there's always that. But man, I mean, I think there comes a time in everybody's life in this sport where you're just like, okay, I have accomplished the things I wanted to accomplish. I have one thing here. I'm going to go towards that. And maybe that means I need to leave the other stuff behind. I think about that in my career. I think about that in with, stuff with sports. I think about that in, stuff. I almost said stuff with my marriage, but I'm not leaving that behind. So I don't think she's listening. I didn't mean to say that. No, but I do think about that stuff. What's next? And I had a good conversation with a friend that I've known for probably 25, 30 years that I saw in Sun River this weekend. And he's like, what are you going to what's next for you? And I'm like, man, I don't know, whatever comes my way, and having fun and doing something productive, helping my kids be better humans. That's the type of stuff I'm really concerned about. I love weightlifting. Love it. Yeah. Love the sport. And I've grown a bigger appreciation for it in the past couple months because of the people I'm around. And Joe has a really big part of that. So, but it's not going to be there forever. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I would definitely say to newer lifters, no matter what age you are, just freaking go for it.
Yeah.
Don't don't do all this stupid crap that half these coaches are programming now. Like, find it when it. I wrote this down because I listened to this thing and I heard it and I was like, I hope it's still here. Crap, it's gone. It was something along the lines of. Let me grab this other phone.
All right. You're all good.
Where the heck is it?
Well, meanwhile, I got wires all coming down over here,
Well,
so whatever.
It basically was something along the lines of, if it's complicated, it's easy to make something complicated, but simple stuff works.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing a lot of these people that I'm seeing what their program is going on. And I'm like, it's easy to give you a whole bunch of BS crap to make you do it, to make you think that this is hard.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard when you're doing all this. Like, I had someone come up to me and they're like, hey, I'm supposed to do drop snatches, but I'm supposed to do back squats first. Is it okay if I do drop snatches first and then back squats? I don't want to mess up my stimulus and this and that. I'm like, it doesn't matter. And they're like, what? I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I want to get the most out of this. I'm like, whoever's doing your programming, they could have put drop snatches first and then back squats after. They could have put front squats. That it doesn't matter. Just go get it done.
Yeah, I think looking at being able to see the big picture, stepping back, I think I've used the term of like going up to 9,000 feet instead of at the 3,000 feet, like looking at it from an area of capacity rather than some minute little stimulus that you might get if you do something in a certain order. You're going to get the stimulus regardless.
Yeah.
If you're supposed to do drop snatches and you do them first, it's not going to make that any much of a difference if you do them last. It's interesting you say that because, I just took the level 1 and you were very, very on point with some of the people that take it. And then nobody in my class was really that annoying at all. But there was one girl that was like really digging in on what a drop snatch was to I forget the other movement. She was like, well, aren't we supposed to like hitch and then go? And Joe's like, no, you're supposed to just like go, like you're supposed to, it's all about dropping, push straight under that bar. And she's like, well, when I learned it, so and I won't go down this whole story because I'll butcher it, but it's a movement to help you get under the bar, and however you got to do that, just do it.
So I'm going to tell you exactly what I told this person at the gym.
Okay.
If there's a drop snatch programmed, what are you learning?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, this. I'm like, no, what are you learning to do? And she's like, push under the bar, receive the bar, this. What I just kept asking, what are we focusing on in weightlifting? What are all these movements that are not the main lifts? What are we learning how to do that's going to teach us how to do this better? She's like, I don't know. I said, body awareness. Yep. All you're learning is how to be aware of your body and how to move properly in different situations.
Mm-hmm.
Once you learn all that, you don't do any of this other crap.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not trying to say that I'm this super lifter who doesn't need to do any of this other stuff anymore. And I didn't tell her this, but I haven't done anything other than a snatch, a clean, a jerk, a clean and jerk, maybe a hang, and maybe a box, like a box lift.
Yeah.
Probably in years.
Yeah.
I don't know when the last time I did a snatch balance that's the other stupid stuff with like, there's drop snatch, there's snatch balance.
Those are the two. Yeah.
Oh, there's a third one.
Oh,
because there's a specific way that you're supposed to do a snatch drop or a drop snatch. There's also heaving snatch drop.
Yes. Yeah. And Joe went through all of these and it was kind of funny, but like, at a certain point, they're all kind of giving you the same thing. And to me, if I'm such a homer when it comes to like the finite detail, and maybe this is why I am where I am in my lifting, but like, I got 3 things to really focus on: clean and jerk, snatch, and pushing my squat. Because pushing and those things right there are going to make me better. Are all the other stuff going to make me better? Absolutely. And, I do work on them from time to time. But I've said this before on the show before, and I think that you might have a better way of saying it. But for me, it's an accumulation of reps. Mm-hmm. I hit a certain number of reps. I see my lifting being snappy, crisp, catching where I need to, like very little pain in the body. Like to me, it's an accumulation of reps, and that's really where I sit and all that.
Yeah. And that's what I feel big time is like in the beginning, everyone has a problem and it's rarely the same problem.
Yeah.
I was talking with my buddy. I don't care about putting his name because he's my friend. And, my buddy, Nick. And we're talking about some other stuff, and he was talking about the lowest common denominator and how laws are being made, rules are being done, and honestly, group programming is being done to the lowest common denominator.
Right.
There might be stuff that one person out of the 15 to 20 on your team needs, and they program it because it can help everybody, but it's really only intended for 1 or 2 people specifically. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason I don't want to coach, and I honestly haven't really had a coach other than just someone to hold me accountable to being into the gym. Yeah. Like I have a very good relationship with my current coach, but she knows she does not have one say on what I do. She can tell me that you need to not lift today and I will go max out. She can tell me, hey, I need you to go heavy today and I won't even show up to the gym. Right. Like, I don't do well with authority.
Yeah.
And she also doesn't know how I feel. This was very awkward the first year.
I remember that.
I
remember that a lot.
She realized that I actually know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I would like to be kind of guided. Hey, we're going to go over here. And she created, I still call it to this day, the best program I've ever done in my entire life. And it was so open-ended.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, we're going to do snatch triples today. And we're going to do them next week. And we're going to do them the next week.
Right.
That was what the program looked like for some of the days. Hey, we're going to do that same thing with clean front squat jerk.
Yep.
I'm not telling you how much to do, but we're going to do it for 3 weeks.
I love it.
When you get, that's what your days. And I told her like, hey, I do my own squats. Like no matter what you program, it's not going to work for me. Very based on feel. And so I was like, don't program squats for me. Just say, if you want me to squat, say squat.
Yeah. I like
and
that.
This is what it was: clean front squat jerk, snatch triples, back squat. That was day 1.
See, and the thing about that right there is it gives you accountability for what you're doing. And we've talked about this a ton. Like, people who will just, go down the rat race of following everything that everybody's doing, tend to have an easier out when something goes wrong. And maybe that's not why they're doing it. And maybe that's a subconscious thing. I don't know. But I think that coach-athlete relationship is so important. And that's kind of what I meant earlier when I was saying about like, over the past couple months, there's been this like really empowering thing. And that's because Joe and I are having this coach athlete experience that, he sees what I'm doing. We have got good conversation. And just like on this last little, minor little injury thing that I had, he was like, listen, I'm going to give you the movements. I'm going to let you put the weights in there because I don't, he's like, I'm not in your garage. I can't see what you're doing. And we did that for a couple weeks and it worked. and I'm not going to be like I'm back to full speed, but I'm lifting pretty damn good right now. Like this last week was great. And there's something about that from an athlete standpoint, when your coach has that kind of respect and trust in you. Also, I would imagine on the coach's aspect, when you can trust an athlete to do that, it's huge. And you see progress, and you see you all, next thing you know, you're out there at a SoCal meet, snatching 150. So like, I mean, there's something to be said about that.
I did not do that at SoCal. I did it.
Okay, sorry.
Meet.
Straight. Okay. My bad.
No.
Yeah.
No, but I have 3 athletes at our gym where I walk up to them on Mondays when I'm coaching, and I just say, if you feel good, do as much. I said, just do as much weight as you can.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the percentages. Just do what feels right for the day.
Yeah.
And some of these people, one of these people is a master. One of these people is a senior with a whole hell of a lot of potential.
Okay.
And one of them is a 16-year-old girl.
Oh, geez. That's a range.
These are the 3 people that I can see they have body awareness. They are very good at what they're doing, even though they're not necessarily super proficient in weightlifting yet.
Right.
But like the 16-year-old girl, she did like 12 or 13 years of gymnastics. You tell her to adjust this as the bar's passing the knee. I want it to be a half inch further back, and she does it. She doesn't do an inch further back. She doesn't do a quarter inch further back. It's a half inch. You say, hey, I want you to do a low hang where you're like a half inch off the ground, and that bar will come down to a half inch and then turn around and shoot back up.
Wow.
Like, she has so much body awareness that it's like, hey, you just need to get in reps. So yeah, she is definitely one of the ones where it's like, yeah, do all the stuff.
Do everything.
Do the snatch balance. Do the behind the neck, like all the stuff that I totally disagree with.
Right.
But it's like, she doesn't know these movements yet, and even though she has great body awareness, she doesn't know what these positions necessarily are. So yeah, I think it just comes down to like, if you want to be good, no one else is going to get you good. Only you can make yourself good. But you have to use other people's guidance. So
yes. Yeah. I think, well, first of all, that's a good place to stop, because I think what you just said is every weightlifter should have something they hear when they come into the sport. That should be one of those things. Like, I wish there was like I mean, back in the day, I don't think they do this anymore. You'd start a new job and they'd sit you down and you watch an HR video. Like, I think weightlifters need a weightlifting video of like, this is how you weightlift, but have it be realistic and have it come from weightlifters that have been in the sport for 10 plus years and talking about that. Dude, that would be so huge. Anyways,
I didn't really think about it till right now. This is like going to just piggyback right onto this.
Okay. The
2 best male weightlifters that I think are the 2 best. Lasha, he's just huge. He doesn't count because he's just a very large individual. Yeah. He is very good too. I'm not downplaying anything.
Right.
Carlos and Ilya.
Yep. Yeah.
Neither of them really have coaches. They literally come in and they do what feels good for the day. I'm just going to leave that out there.
That's awesome.
They didn't do that from the beginning. They're not 6 months in. If you're 6 months in, listen to your coach. Do everything they say.
Coach. Yes.
But the better you are, the less you need a coach to coach you, the less you need eyes on you all the time, and the more you need someone to hold you accountable to be in there.
That's it. Yeah, dude. That's perfect. And there's not much else you can say about that. And dude, I appreciate you jumping on here. When being in Tennessee, it's a little bit later out there, and this has been a great show. We could probably talk for another hour, I'm sure, but you're probably getting tired. It's what, 8 o'clock your time? Yeah. Something like that. 8:15. Anyways, good show. We'll pop on here again next week, and I think our goal is right now this is show number 88,
Okay.
We want to hit 100 shows. I want to hit 100 shows with you for sure. And then we'll evaluate from there and see where it goes. But man, what a great way to come back. I love that we can take these times off and come back and just be right back at it. And it makes a huge difference. So Cornell, thank you. Everybody, thank you for listening, and adios.
Bye.